Hello and welcome. I'm going to be discussing this excellent book, Tarot: The Open Reading by Yoav Ben Dov. This writer trained with Alejandro Jodorowsky in understanding how to read the Marseille tarot deck. They worked together for a long time in the 80s, many years, and Ben Dov developed the CBD tarot deck, which is still in publication, still available. A very clean and cheerful reinterpretation of the classic Marseille, maintaining the majority of the details that you're going to see in historical Conver decks, just with a much cleaner printing and brighter colors. A slightly larger color palette as well. A lot of folks, when I have put up videos giving information about books on Marseille interpretation, will mention this book. So I wanted to give everybody a clear look at exactly what's in here, why this really is one of the better books to go to when you're starting out as a Marseille practitioner. Jodorowsky and Marianne Costa's book is great, but it's much more in-depth and much larger. You see that Ben Dov's book is far more approachable, a little easier to swallow for the beginner. And he really does structure it so that anybody who is getting started with tarot can easily figure out a way to begin digesting and using the Marseille deck immediately. His first chapter talks about tarot decks in general, different designs that have appeared over the years, and the history of where tarot comes from. But then he immediately moves into the reading session. And as you see, the book is mostly block text. You're not going to see a lot of fancy images throughout here, but he gets the information across in a very concise and well-structured way. So it's not a super fancy publication, but really something that he wanted to create so that it could be as accessible as possible for the majority of people that would encounter it. So as I say, he goes directly from the history of tarot to a very hands-on, cozy description of what a session should feel like. And also, he emphasizes, very importantly, that once you are in a tarot reading session, everything has meaning. The look on the querent's face, any subtle feelings or intuitions that you're picking up as the reader from moment to moment, anything that you see and apply meaning to, or that suddenly strikes you in a way that it didn't before, all of these factors are going to have some kind of weight that can lend to the meaning of the reading, what's really coming out of it, and the energy of that moment. So I really appreciate that he directs readers to pay attention to the subtle cues, to any whims of the energetics around you that could be changing or affecting the mood and have something to do with the reading in front of you. So from there, instead of diving into a description of every card, he talks about the symbolic language that can be found in the Marseille deck. And this is a crucial element of understanding how to look at the cards and get something out of them. You are considering how the symbols connect with each other. And he focuses a lot more on thinking about the symbols in that moment. If you're looking at cups and the person that you're reading for works for a beverage company, that's going to have a different meaning, a whole different connotation for that person as they're thinking about cups and how cups affect their life, than a person who, say, is a teenager and thinking about going into a life of computer programming, or an older person who's about to retire and wants to know what to do with themselves, retiring from a job in finance or in event planning. Cups are going to mean different things to all these people. So Dov encourages every reader to think about where those symbols are striking people, the kind of effect that they have actually had in their life as you are going through the reading and discovering what it's meaning for that person in front of you. So he emphasizes focus on the symbols and not assuming that you know what that means to the other person, but that you're asking questions and drawing this information out of them. So this is a great habit for really any reader to be in, but especially for folks who are starting out, are not super familiar with every single card, and who are still figuring out how they want to approach the folks that they are giving readings for. So he goes through all the different types of cards. He begins with the majors. He does discuss numerology in general, which is going to be helpful both in understanding the cards in the major suits, or the trump cards, as well as the suited cards, or pip cards. Then he has an in-depth analysis of each of the cards in the trumps, or the major suit. And this is after, again, he talks about structure first. And this is something that unites Ben Dov and Jodorowsky. The system within the tarot deck, especially the Marseille deck, is important to understanding the individual cards. None of them exist in a vacuum. Their meaning does not arise just out of the card alone, but out of its position in the deck, how it refers to other cards, including the ones that are right next to it, the ones in its own suit, and for the numbered suit cards, also the major cards that have similar numerical reflections. So if you're thinking about the 5 of coins, it is a reflection of the 5 card in the trumps, the Pope, as well as the 15 card, the Devil. There's something about the 5 of coins that relates to both Pope and Devil. And he also encourages you to think about, well, how do the Pope and the Devil have anything to do with each other? What's their relationship? What is the tension between them? And how do the cards agree in some circumstances? So he really is guiding you through the steps to understand how to have an in-depth relationship with the Marseille deck without giving you too much to work with or digest at once, as well as offering you several different options as far as ways that modern thinkers and tarot workers have put different structures together for their own use. So I really appreciate that he offers options. He respects the history of where all of this has come from and the tradition that he himself has inherited, while expecting people to pursue this with a sense of freedom, individuality, and a way to really figure out what their needs are as they're utilizing the cards. So he does go through them one by one and offers images from his own deck so that you can see exactly what they look like, at least in black and white. Now, Ben Dov uses a slightly different structure than I do. He divides the deck into the major cards, the court cards, so king, queen, page, and knight, the suited cards, and then the aces are another category as well. He sees them as special, not quite the same as numbers 2 through 10. So it's a slight diversion from what you're going to see in Jodorowsky and in the way that some other people think about the Marseille deck. But it still works, and he shows you exactly why he does that. And again, in this spirit, he calls the book The Open Reading. His methods are also very open. His style is very soft. It is very rare in this book that he says, this is how it is, but rather he says, here are some options. Try exploring them, see what happens. His expectation is that readers are going to use this to develop their own methods, to have experiences that through trial and error, this can be a helpful guide for them to see where they might go when they don't like something or how to continue when they do. And he does offer a really handy kind of point of reference in the back of the book, short explanations and definitions for each of the cards. And then quick interpretations at the very end, so that if you do want something that you can flip through to take a look at as a reference in a spread, then it's easy to do that. Overall, out of all the books that I've read about the Marseille Tarot, the Ben Dov is the least weighed down with historical concerns. Ben Dov, working with Jodorowsky, was very much keeping the sense of their readings personal and in the present with the people they were working with. They were a lot less concerned with a grand continuity and story of the cards. They really were invested in helping people utilize the tarot experience for personal healing, to get deep into what their needs are and the assumptions they've been carrying around that have been slowing them, tripping them up at important moments, and exactly how tarot can help them to see a better way of living, a better way of being, revisions to their habits that will move them forward. I absolutely recommend Ben Dov's book, or Ben Dov, excuse me, to anybody who is approaching the Marseille Tarot and wants a flexible perspective on what a great Marseille reading looks like and how they can get there themselves. Thank you very much for listening. It's really encouraging to know that you guys are enjoying my thoughts on these various tarot understanding methods. If you are looking for personal readings, please check out my Patreon or go over to my website and schedule an opportunity with me. I always offer printed, or at least emailed, explanations of the reading that I've given you in as much detail as I can, detailing what the cards mean in that reading for you personally. And if you are interested in person-to-person tarot lessons, I also offer those. Again, newelltarot.com will be the best place for you to go in order to connect with me. Thank you so much for watching. Please offer me your comments if there is any other information about the book that you're looking for, or other ways of learning tarot that have been helpful to you. Take care, and have a great day.